Hey there guys, what's going on? Gale here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Persona 5X video, and today we are continuing on the build guides, and today it is all about Morgana, one of the three options available to you at the start of the game when you do your beginner's gacha banner, of course alongside An and Ryuji, and in my opinion one of the best options to pick up between the three. In fact, I think Morgana is the best option in all honesty. Now initially I thought that An was the best option a few days ago, but in my reroll guide video I quickly thought about it and I looked at the other options available to us, and I feel like having an extra sustain option is better purely because Morgana is one of the only two, technically three options available in the game at the start that is sustain. You only have Morgana, of course, as a 5-star option, and your other sustains are Lufel as a 4-star medic and Shun Kano, a 4-star guardian. And that's where I say technically, because I'm not even going to count Shun Kano, I'm only counting Lufel in this situation. So you only have Morgana and Lufel, and of course when you get into the endgame content, you're gonna need Morgana, you're gonna need Lufel, you're gonna need both of them, you're gonna need them in two separate teams as well. And so having Morgana I think is a better option. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at how we're going to build Morgana. We're going to take a look at his skills, we're going to take a look at his awareness, we're going to see if the dupes are worth it for him, and then of course as always we're going to take a look at his best revelation cards, his best universe cards, his best weapons, and of course best teams. Now of course if you guys go on to enjoy this video, remember to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more content, and let me know in the comment section down below, are you guys going to be picking up Morgana, or are you guys dead set on getting An from the 50-50 option? Of course remember that you can get another unit on the way, of course, while you're doing the beginner's gacha banner, but just keep that in mind. And of course if you want to check out my most recent video, I go over why rerolling is going to be super easy in this game, so be sure to check it out as well. Now let's take a look at Morgana's skills and see what's in store for us. So like I said, Morgana is a medic role unit, so that means he's going to be a dedicated healer. So let's take a look at his skill 1 first and foremost and see how it works and how he's going to work with other units. Wind Assault is his first skill, deals 146.4% attack as wind damage to one foe, and it has a 100% base chance to inflict winded for 2 turns. After inflicting winded, there is a fixed chance to gain instinct. Fixed chance is equal to current crit rate. Okay, so basically your crit rate will give you the percentage chance to get instinct. So I assume he's going to be somebody that you kind of want to get a bit of crit rate with, because his second skill, and that's I was just gonna say, his second skill or third skill might have something to do with the instinct ability. His second skill, Art of Healing, has the ability to restore 37.6% HP from attack, or 37.6% of the attack, plus 1069 extra stats of HP. Kind of weird of me to say it and explain it that way, but basically 37.6% of Morgana's attack plus an additional 1069 HP will be recovered to all allies, and also dispels one elemental ailment for all allies. After dispelling, gains 1 stack of instinct. Okay, so more instinct there. My Fist deals 128.9% attack as physical damage, this is third skill, to one foe, and this skill has a 20% decreased hit rate and 30% increased critical rate. If this skill crits, you gain 1 stack of instinct. Okay, I'm quite curious to see what instinct does, to be honest. Combat skills, Highlight, this is his highlight ability, deals 227.8% attack as wind damage to one singular foe, and also revives an ally with 20% max HP. That's actually pretty darn useful. I can see why he's going to be so useful at the start of the game, to be quite honest. His passive skills, Confidence, healing from instinct, can crit and has a 30% bonus crit rate. Increases healing by 24% of his attack, plus 720 as well when crit healing with instinct. There's crit healing? I didn't realize there would be crit healing in this game. Okay, that's interesting. Bond, Aura, decreases SP cost for all allies by 15%. Holy crap, you need this guy. Okay, that's crazy that he just decreases the SP cost for your entire team by 15%. That is pretty darn good. I mean, 15% of, like, say 22 is basically like 3 points. It's 3 SP less, which is still going to be useful, and it adds up. Remember, it does add up. So yeah, that's pretty darn good. Okay, let's take a look at his awareness and dupes now. This is going to be where things get very interesting. I'm very curious to see how this is going to go. Awareness 0. Sensitive smell. Gains 1 stack of instinct every time you use a different skill, up to 3 stacks. So you want to try and, continuously change a different skill. So you might want to do S1 into S2 into S1 into S2 and so on and so forth. So you gain 1 stack of instinct every time you use a different skill. Instinct. If any ally is below 70% HP when they attack a foe, you perform a follow-up. Immediately restores 10% of attack plus 150, 225 or 300 HP to all allies at level 1, 50 and 70 respectively. Okay, that's pretty good. Honestly, that's actually pretty insane. And you're going to have a lot of instinct in general as well. And then on top of that, with the passive, you can crit heal as well, which is going to be insane as well. So yeah, I think that's pretty darn good. Honestly, that's pretty darn good. His A1, his first dupe, Energetic, gives an additional effect to Instinct, which allows you to restore an additional 30% attack as HP when the ally is below 50% HP. It's all right. I wouldn't say it's anything insane. It definitely helps a lot for sure when it comes to, when you're in more dire straits. But if you're in an okay position, I don't think that's going to matter too much, to be quite honest. His Awareness 2 allows him to get +3 level to both Art of Healing and Combat Skills. So that's basically his skill 2 and his highlight ability. Do Not Disturb A3. Art of Healing restores 33% more to the main target. So whoever the main target ends up being will get more healing basically. Nimble Counterattack. Wind Assault and My Fist both get skill level, an additional 3 levels of skill, basically. And then A5, Prey Transfer, gives an effect boost to your highlight, which allows you to restore 60% of your attack plus 800 HP when reviving an ally. So it's not just 20% HP anymore. You're gonna restore 60% of attack plus 800 HP. A6, Curious Baby. Lucky Punch's hit rate will not be decreased, but instead it will increase the damage taken of the enemy by 15% after landing a crit for 2 turns. So the damage taken by the enemy increases by 15% when you land a critical hit for 2 turns, which is pretty darn good. To be honest, his dupes don't matter that much, in all honesty. I would say primarily his A1 and A3, I would say, are pretty darn good. His A1, A3, A5 are going to be the ones that I would say, like, oh, there's going to be something there. I mean, I guess I've mentioned all of them by extension, but you know what I mean. It can help. They can really help. A6, I don't think is going to be that insane, but it's there as an option. It's there as an option nonetheless. So it's pretty cool in that sense, all right? It's pretty cool in that sense. So those are the skills and awarenesses. Or dupes, let's call them dupes. It's much easier to call them dupes than awarenesses. So that's the skills and dupes, of course, for Mona. It's gonna take me some time. I'm gonna say constellations and eidolons at some point, 100%. I play too much Genshin and HSR for me not to do that. But anyways, we move on to the revelation cards and universe cards, and this is where things get interesting because you do have a couple of options. There are a couple of options. So first and foremost, one option is, of course, the Meditation Universe card and the Love Revelation card set. And we're going to start off with the Love Revelation card first and foremost. So the 2-set effect of the Love Revelation card set allows you to increase your healing effect by 9%. And then the 4-set effect, it will allow you to basically, when treating a party member whose HP is not higher than 50%, so they're below 50% HP, the healing effect boosts up by 23%. And then in Meditation's case, basically you get an increase in the healing effect by 28% for 2 turns when you land a crit. So it does seem like he's going to rely a lot on critting, so you might want to boost up his crit rate, basically just bump up his crit rate quite a lot. Not crit damage, just crit rate and HP and stuff, in my opinion, and attack, of course, by extension. Now we move on to some alternatives. This is the first time I think we've done a alternative set for a unit in the build guide, but of course we had those two at the very beginning. Now we move on to the next alternative card setup. Control is the first one in terms of the Revelation card set. We'll talk about the Revelation card sets first. So Control is the first one. The 2-set effect of that is HP increases by 12%. And the 4-set effect is when using your skills to attack an enemy, it will cause an additional damage of 8% of your own health to the main target. Pretty darn cool in that sense. Pretty darn cool. Gives a little bit additional damage as well to the enemy, which is pretty nice in that sense. Now, the Universe card you're going to be going for is the Departure card. It decreases the main target's defense by 23% for 2 turns after you attack them with a skill. So you're basically debuffing the enemy, which actually goes and plays well with, of course, sets from like Joker and stuff, right? That would help massively. It would help massively, in all honesty. So definitely something to consider there. Now, we're gonna take a look at the best stats for Mona. So for the Moon card, you're gonna go for healing effect, of course, to make sure you're getting as much HP out as possible. The Star card is, of course, going to be crit rate. Like I said, it just makes a lot of sense to go for crit rate. And then your Sky card is gonna be attack. And then your substats that you're gonna be aiming for includes crit rate, SP recovery, and attack. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Everything works super well with, of course, what Mona does. In terms of weapons, and this is where things get very interesting, you've got two options in my opinion. You've got Headhunter Ladle, which increases critical rate by 11%, and when attacking an ally, when attacking with the skill, you will restore HP equal to 11.4% of attack to the ally with the lowest HP, and then you have a 5% chance to inflict forget on the target foe for 1 turn. Again, works extremely well with what Mona does. Crit rate, HP healing to the lowest ally as well when you're attacking with the skill. I think that's fantastic, in all honesty. I think that's fantastic. You also go for his signature weapon in the 5-star selection, Golden Legacy, which allows you to basically get an increase to Mona's critical rate by 18%. And then if a foe is critically hit with a skill, you deal 10% of max HP as bonus damage up to 100% of the attack. And then when you use your healing skill, you restore 9% of the target's max HP. If a skill misses, you immediately gain Chivalry, which, to be honest, I'm gonna have to wait and see what that does in game, because that doesn't explain much to me, in all honesty. Unless Chivalry is Instinct. I think that's probably what it is, because I think there's just a mistranslation here and they've messed it up there. But I think it should be Instinct, because I don't see a reason why there's a completely different thing that he doesn't use in his kit that you get unless it's a bonus thing. I think it's Instinct. I think it'll be Instinct. So yeah, there you guys go. That is Mona's best weapons. Now, for teams, let's go over to Pridwin real quickly and take a look at the entire selection. And the first thing I will say is he can be on any team. I mean, that's the point of a sustain, is that he can be on any team. I think he'll fit in perfectly. Now, do keep in mind that we did find out what our first bosses are gonna be, and that there is a boss that is weak to wind in the Heart of Sea Trials. So if you take a look at the guides again, you know, in terms of the game modes, right, we go all the way down here. We have the Sea of Souls Trials, right? You do have two separate bosses for this mode, right? One boss is going to be weak to Curse, and I think it's Nuclear, if I'm not mistaken. That's one side. The other side is weak to Wind and Physical, if I'm not mistaken. Wind and Physical. So, of course, Ryuji is going to be great, but more importantly, if you're not going to go get Ryuji or anything, you want to go get Seiji Shiratori from Joker's Banner. And Seiji Shiratori with, of course, Morgana, yeah, it's gonna work well. It's gonna work pretty darn well. So just keep that in mind, of course, when you're going into the boss fight, that you might want to pick up Morgana just so that he can work well with Seiji Shiratori for that second stage. But otherwise, realistically, Morgana works well with any team. You're gonna put him on any team, he'll thrive well. He'll thrive well. Of course, just keep in mind that over time he does lose out and he does go down in the ratings, but he's there as an option. He is there indeed as an option. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this build guide. A bit of a shorter build guide, but a bit more straightforward, because we didn't have to look at team options or anything of that sort. We focused on the skills, we focused on the awareness, we focused on his cards and his weapons, and that's the most important thing. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys gonna go for Morgana? Are you guys gonna go for On? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao everybody. Bye bye.